So I met Jacob McAllister a little over 2 years ago on a mission trip. I had known him for a while, but he's 2 years older than I am, and we just never ran in the same friend groups. He was on staff when I was a student, he was an intern when I was younger, and so we just never really knew each other. We knew of each other, but did not know each other until July of 2016. We both went on a mission trip to Austria. He went as a college student, I went as a senior of high school graduate, and we sat by each other on the plane. And one of the first questions he asked me and the other guy next to us was, what is one moment in your life where God changed the course direction of your path forever? And honestly, that's what did me in. I was like, this guy's amazing and incredible, and I've never heard someone ask these questions before, and it's awesome. And so a couple months later, we started dating. We texted for a bit. He asked permission to call me. We called for a bit, asked permission to FaceTime me. Finally came to visit me at Baylor, and then October 14th at 4:32 p.m. is the time that we decided we started dating officially. It has definitely been a journey for the last couple of years. A lot of people like to tell you that dating is perfect, that it fixes all your problems, that it's this dream world like movies. And that is not true. It's definitely incredible, and there's a lot of really joyful moments, but it also takes commitment and work and communication. Jacob always likes to say that we die on the sword of over communication, which we do, because we like to talk about everything, probably to a fault at many moments. But that's kind of been the journey of the last couple years, is learning each other. The first 6 months felt like the honeymoon phase. I didn't think he sinned and had any issues, and I had so many. And then the next year was like, okay, you're human and I'm human, and we're learning each other and figuring out how to communicate, how to care for each other well. I'm acts of service oriented, your words of affirmation. We both like physical touch. That's good. Just little things like that you pick up along the way. Then this last 6 months has been good, but a lot harder. I think you hit a point where you learn that you're very sinful and the other person is very sinful, and dating is very sanctifying, probably more so than any other relationship, because it brings up a lot of insecurities and fears, concerns, selfishness, all those great things. And so it takes a lot of humility and patience and grace to ask forgiveness and to forgive and extend that to each other. But it's also such a picture of the gospel, because you know someone's sin better than almost anybody else, and yet you love them more than almost anybody else because you choose to be committed to them as unconditionally as possible, which we as fallible humans cannot be super unconditional all the time. But you try to imitate the Lord in that way. And so we actually got engaged yesterday, which was really exciting. He took me, we love benches. So benches has been the theme of our relationship. That's where we talked about dating intentionally. That's where he said, I can see a future with you. That's where we talked about saying, I love you. All of the great things. And so we went to our bench at Cameron Park, and we talked about these last 2 years, what God has done, where he's been faithful. Went to a bench by Dichotomy, our favorite coffee shop, talked about holding hands there for the first time, and just the sweetness of dating and being in the same city, because we used to date long distance for a really long time. And then he finally took me to our bench on Baylor's campus and gave me this book that he's been writing for me for the last year and a half of his love for me, which we didn't say I love you till about a year in. And so, but he started writing it about 3 months into dating, which was fun to know. So we read through some of those journal entries, and then he had me stand up and close my eyes. And when I opened them, he was kneeling with a ring, and didn't even look at the ring. I just gave him a hug and said yes, and plan on getting married next summer, which is really exciting and crazy. 97% of the time it's amazing. The other 3, it's scary and frightening, but overall it's wonderful. And he's still incredible and kind and loves Jesus more than anyone else that I know. And is just not perfect, but wonderful, and such a gift from the Lord.